Hello ladies and gentlemen, I'm back from BotCon and it's time to get back to Guerilla reviews. So today, fresh from BotCon, we have Beast Wars Transmetal 2 Scourge. As you can see, Transmetal Scourge is a locust, and being a techno-organic nature, even though he has very nice orange paint, it is already starting to chip, even though it came out of the package at BotCon. Unfortunately, this seems to be a common problem and there's not much I can do about that. As you may have already noticed, Scourge here has a missile firing gimmick. You activate it by pressing this middle part of the wings and it fires automatically. Most of the time. Sometimes you have to press this little button in order to make it fire, but it seems to be the general consensus that if you press this up and you do it right with enough force, it will fire. Another little thing here is when we look into the left eye, as you can see, his right eye is different from his left. That is because when we lift up this part right here, creepy as it looks, you can then see his Predacon spark crystal. Very odd, but then again, this is Transmetal 2. Anyway, let's move on to his transformation. We'll start by going under his front legs and unpegging it for one of his arms. We will then move these rear legs down and move the wings up, and then we will split the thorax eventually. There we go. Revealing his second arm, and then we will twist everything forward this way. That is one very strange head, isn't it? We will then move this arm this way. There's no real place to plug it in, but it does hold in pretty snugly. We will then do the same to the other arm. Fold the thorax back in. Fold the wings down. Fold out the feet. And there we are. Transmetal 2 Scourge in robot mode. Now obviously there's a fair amount of kibble on his left arm in the insect, but I found the best way to handle this is to essentially fold this in, creating this sort of two triangles. You can also just take the arms off entirely, like that, but that's just kind of the way the design works because it's mostly on ball joints. There we go. That's much cleaner. And it's still just about as heavy, which is another drawback to this figure. In robot mode, it's exceptionally top heavy, so it's going to compress down on itself. But another of the pluses is that those same missiles in the wings can be pulled out, and they can be used as blade weapons. Silly as that is. Anyway, a quick articulation check. He's got a swivel head, and because of his transformation, he can go down in there, kind of like a turtle. Ball joints and swivel joints on his shoulders. Ball joint on his elbows. Transformation also gives him a rather high waist joint. Ball jointed hips. Ball joints on one of the two joints in his knees, along with a swivel joint. Not much else beyond that, because the feet, due to their nature, cannot really do much else. Although he does have a bit of articulation in his big insect legs. I said very little. Anyway, that wraps about this review. I am Deceptiwolf. This has been Transmetal 2 Scourge, and again I remind you, free your mind, free your toys.